Well, it was a close-fought battle for map number 1, but at the end of it, the Misfits do take control and steal away the Binary Dragon Zone map pick. Now they get to head over to their own on train and see if they can close this one out in 2-0 fashion, or if the Binary Dragons will be able to continue the fight from map number 1 and be able to steal one themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a sick matchup. Binary Dragons, I think, in my opinion, showed a lot better than probably a lot of people expected. Actually, they had a real chance of taking that first map. But now we move on to train. It's the map pick of Misfits. They're very good, especially on the T side as well. It's going to be very hard for Binary Dragons to step back into this and kind of mentally reset themselves going into this one. But there's still a chance. We saw them aim-wise. They're pretty much on point. They need a bit more strategical overview and make sure that their execution is on point. But if they can make that happen, then there's a chance, I think, of them making something at least 12 rounds or more here on train.
Absolutely, so we're going to have to see here how things will start off for them. They are doing the knife round now, so we should be able to get started in just a few moments as soon as things have completed there. But overall, very good performances across the board from Misfits. I think, I mean, we talked about it kind of in the middle of that last map as well, but players like Shazam, who were kind of absent for whatever reason in yesterday's match versus the Renegades, really showing up in strong suit here now in that first map there, especially Shazam. He kind of dipped up a little bit in the second half, but the first half he was really in control of a lot of those situations, a lot of very aggressive hopping as we've come to know him before, and some hero plays in the pistol rounds too, specifically in the second pistol round, where he had that nice 2K that turned around a pistol round that otherwise, in my opinion, probably would have gone to the Binary Dragons, and that actually could have propelled them into a position where they actually might have won that first map. So that was actually a pretty definitive pistol round there. Definitely.
Pistol rounds, if you go to any player in CSGO and if they have a close game and you ask them, okay, what went wrong? And they'll always say, oh yeah, we lost the pistol rounds. It's such a huge amount of rounds. Like, you win so much extra apart from the 2 rounds there if you win that pistol round. You get the momentum, get the economy, and it's just such a good start into a half. But it looks like we're ready to go. Ready to jump in onto train map number 2 in this best of 3. Binary Dragons against Misfits.
And this is an elimination match, folks. So the loser of this one, if it happens to be the Binary Dragons, well, they're going to be heading home, and they are going to be our first team to be eliminated here. Let's jump into it, though. It's our second map. It's going to be on train. And again, it's going to be the Binary Dragons taking on the Misfits. The Binary Dragons will start off on the defense here on the CT side, just like the last map. And Misfits will be on offense again over on the T side.
Sean Garris setting into a position where he can smoke outside, or just hold from aggression coming in from that Ivy position from the CTs. Intel or Latney here. Just in pop dark, making sure that if the terrorists drop in for a quick push, he's going to be ready, and here we go. Push incoming, 2 smokes, and 1 flashbang.
He's taking a big risk by hanging on this position here now. He's got a frag out. There's 1, potentially a second, and the 3rd. Nicely done from Letney as he destroys the push. Now going to get number 4 and 5 as well if he wants it. And he's sneaking in from the short lane, though, and he snuck off at least one of those kills. Jockstick will get the 5th, and that's another shutdown pistol round for the Binary Dragons to start off this map, just like we had over on Mirage.
Yeah, as you said, very aggressive positioning, and he takes a lot of... It's a big chance of being in that position, but he makes it work. They don't really have a lot. They're not dropping in with a flashbang into that position because they use that flashbang to get out towards just the general bomb side as the push is coming in from a different angle. 2 smokes, don't have really anything else to drop in with, and if your aim is on point, you can hold that position, and Intel is able to do that. Right now, another setup, 1 smoke and a flashbang. Once again, Sean Garris is the one with the smoke on that T side. And looking to smoke outside again and then go down to Pop Dog. That seems to be the plan once more. I'm just holding for aggression inside. You know, the second he hears steps, he's going to smoke that off. Actually, they turn around and move towards that B bomb site.
It does look like they are going to dive down inside of the ladder room instead here now. But still keeping a pretty decent presence up on top of the box halls here in the event that they do want to head towards inner. And actually looks like it's kind of shifting back towards the inner play all of a sudden. So taking that route instead. It's good that they do that, though, as they probably would have gotten completely destroyed if they all tried to go down inside of the ladder room here. So now just waiting for that execute to move, and they do still have the smoke and a flashbang to use, so they are probably going to try to utilize that once the CT smoke sitting down here at the bottom of the ramp fades away.
Yeah. They're probably going to smoke off lower and then flash in towards the bomb site. Let's see, yeah, there goes the smoke, but timing is not on point. Emmy sees them coming down, so he's just going to spray and gets 1 for free. 4 players still pushing in. Sean Garris aggressive peeking, but Dubik takes him out.
Yeah, nice shot from the back. I guess you call that a denied kill in certain ways. But ultimately, the round is going to end relatively quickly. They do get the plant, though, which was probably the primary goal of this round. So they're going to have that going for them at least. But no kills at all. So Binary Dragons are going to have a nice start here to try to build up an economy early on in this map.
to FAMASA as well. It's nice to see that the FAMASA is being prioritized over the UMP45 because we had a long period of CSGO where the meta pretty much dictated the UMP45 over almost every single weapon in every single scenario. And then now the FAMASA is making a bit of a return here, especially on Binary Dragons. Two of them at hand right now. And Misfits in a situation where they can buy a little bit of utility into this one, but not too much. The Sam is saving up for an AWP, so we're going to see T-side AWP on the first buy round. It's going to be very interesting, but for flashbangs and the smoke, there's definitely the opportunity of something going on, but Sam just pushing in with the deagle.
Oh, okay. So there's that pistol play from Shazam again here as he just deletes Hunter right at the start. It's being traded back, however. There's the second one from Shazam. Not even struggling on these either. Not missing a single beat. He does finally end up going down to Neno. And at the end of the day, Emmy will also pick up a nice double kill at the end there. So Binary Dragons still won out the round, but at the very least, Shazam getting a couple nice shots in there. His opponent's even complimenting him on that.
Very nice. Those two will allow him to get to 68-50. So he definitely had the opportunity of going for T-side AWP in this first buy round if he wants to. And that's going to be the case as well. And because of those deagle shots coming in, he actually has the opportunity to get a bit of utility with it as well. Right now, defensive setup, making sure that if they push Ivy the CTs, they're going to have one guy close range, but also Shazam long range with that AWP to hold that angle. Hunter on the other side of things, on that B bomb side. They're stacking 3 players on B right now on that CT side, so they expect something to come their way from the terrorists.
Going to be slow play at first here. We'll see if there's a fast follow-up, though. They do have everybody in those positions outside just to toss in the quick smokes and then go for the fast execute towards outer. But it's not like we're going to see that follow-through just yet. They haven't popped off any of those smokes themselves. So they are still running them the time, and there's pretty active defenses set up. They did go pretty heavy on inner, though. You'll notice that there was actually a third person there on the B-bomb site for a couple of seconds. They've changed that now, so it's back to a more standard setup. And you'll notice, well, they are still working with a lot of the anti-eco guns, too, so Binary Dragon's going to be a little bit weaker. But they start off with that first kill. Letney again finding Amanek. Hunter catching a second. Emmy with a third. And, oh, this is rough here for the Misfits. Finally, Sick trades out a kill. They might just want to use this to try and get a plant, but unfortunately, Sick's time is run out. He'll go down, and with Shazam missing that op shot, Letney moving in on the flank, that's going to complete it. With only one player going down, the Binary Dragons win out the first gun round here as well.
Yeah, and that's the problem right now with Misfits. Their executors look like, instead of just going as a unit into a bomb site, using the utility to block off the CTs and then take them as a group, it seems like they're just favoring doing a bunch of different 1v1s. And aim-wise, I don't think Binary Dragons are far off from Misfits. I actually think they might be upping them a little bit aim-wise. So I don't think that's a route to go for Misfits. They need to count on their strategical prowess to carry them through this map here and not just go for the 1v1s all the time. Because I think Misfits, they're not in a position where they can just out-aim every single player in Binary Dragons at this point.
Well, the big problem for Misfits, and this was discussed yesterday too in the pre-gamer segment, is the fact that unfortunately, you know, Sean Garris, in terms of his individual performance, is never really going to match up to a lot of the other guys in this matchup. Even just looking at the last one, I don't know what he ended on, but I know when we looked at it towards one of the later rounds, he was still like, you know, 7 or 8 kills behind the next highest teammate on his squad there. So he's definitely struggling a little bit. And that does make the team a little bit weaker overall on fragging potential, and it's definitely hurting them now. As you can see, they're just getting shut down every single round, especially on these ecos here. They're just not making anything happen. They got the one plant back on round number 2, but that's really the only thing they've accomplished on an eco round so far.
And I think that setup was way better than what they tried this round, because this time around you had Sick and Amanek going towards that inner bomb side, or at least getting ready to go down Pop Dog. The rest of the players were just taking 1v1s to get fully of bought up CTs, and that's never going to work. Right now, they're going to get 1 kill, but in my opinion, I would much rather have liked an inner push with a couple of smokes just to ensure you get that bomb down. You at least get some economy going instead of just buying Tech 9s and taking duels. Joxic very low on HP, should rotate back. Shouldn't give Amanek the chance of winning that duel here. But no way he's going to get more, and he's going to be shut down by Intel. So 5-0 from Binary Dragons, and Misfits in a bit of a rough spot. Money-wise, Binary Dragons are looking insane. 3 players above 10K, actually above 11K. So 6 set up there from them.
I mean, does it abide on a little bit more? Because I think you had to buy a gun for Hunter. Hunter's been kind of at the front of the fight, so he ends up going down in most of these rounds. But still, for only 5 rounds being played out, having 11K left over on 2 of your players is absolutely insane.
3 of them haven't died yet. That's quite insane. And if you look at the frags on the Misfits side, you have Davidovik still on -1.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is.
That's rough.
All right, 5-0. And Shazam and Joxic both with ops. some utility on that T side as well. We see 3 Molotovs, so I would like to see them coordinate a big execute and use those Molotovs to flush out the common positions of these CTs after smoking off choke points, so they can make sure that the rotations of Binary Dragons is going to be a little bit pressed. Let's see what they want to do. Definitely favoring outside take right now. If I was the Misfit guys, a lot of smoke positions you can easily get stuff done through.
Have a lot of presence over there on top of the ladder room right now, getting ready to deploy downstairs, but they're going to firebomb that bottom floor before they even think about going in there. They've already had a lot of problems with just individual players sitting inside. The problem is both of those mollies are going to make it very apparent that they're going for this push. And look at that. Letney not even in the room, initially just walks right in and gets a casual. Oh! The casual double kill followed up by the nice flick onto the headshot of Sick. And now, again, the entire hit has been completely destroyed. You may have noticed as well, the bomb also got dropped inside of that ladder room. So they don't have that either. And these last two are going to make an attempt to push outside, but it's not working. Shazam now the last man standing, and he's going to try to do as much damage as possible, but with the money that Binary Dragons is, unless he wipes the board here, that damage is going to be pretty negligible at the end of the day.
Yeah, in this position, they should completely go hunt for him, because there's no chance here of him making anything happen. They have so much economy on that CT side. And once again, like, intel in that ladder room, or Letney, if you will, it's so hard, especially when they outmodel the position to begin with and just let them know, oh, we're going to go this way. And his spray control is on point in this position. It's almost like he's been doing nothing apart from playing that position his entire life. Every single time they go through that ladder room with that top dog, they just get shut down completely. 6-0 is the scoreline. Misfits on a very weak utility-based buy. Only a couple of flashbangs and 1 smoke. So this suggests to me that they want to do something very pacey. They want to get some speed on it. And maybe a quick outside.
If they don't win this round, they need to take a pause next round too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making 0 impact here at all. They not even strategically need a pause. They need a pause just to reset themselves here. Because if they go this round, under similar circumstances, they're going to be looking at getting, like half a kill a round across the entire team, which is very bad. They only have 5 kills total, and then with a team kill, it technically brings it down to 4. Whether you count that or not is obviously up to your judgment, but that would bring the total down to 4 only. So going into 8 here, it's going to make it look like 1 kill every 2 rounds, which is very bad overall.
Let's see here. Waiting a bit, Misfits. Want to make sure that the Binary Dragons are not ready for their push. They want to make sure that they plant that seed of doubt that they could go towards that in the bomb site. But that also allows Binary Dragons to just say, okay, 50 seconds to go. We're going to smoke off the positions and force you into a position where you can't execute until 35. But they go out through the smoke anyways. Nino misses his shot, but now they have a lot of map control outside.
And now they've got 2 kills as well. Nino missing not only that first shot, but the second one too. Both of the ops missing as now Joxa goes down, and this is a completely different team all of a sudden. Binary Dragon just whiffing all of their attempts to get frags. And now Misfits are basically just going to walk right over the A bomb site and get free control of this round. It's almost a team ace too, depending on if Sick gets this final kill or not.
Yeah, this has to be a weird round for the Misfits guys, because it didn't feel like a normal round in that sense that they just went into the bomb site, got map control, 2 ops missed all of their shots, and then they were just allowed to get free frags. And actually, the team ace is coming in. But Misfits, they still have a long way to go, because that's not going to happen again. Both of the ops are not going to miss all their shots coming into that situation once again. They're not going to get a free round like this.
In a way, they were gifted that round,
yeah.
Especially considering all the opportunities that the ops were presented at the beginning of that gunfight. Because when you look at it, Misfits had like 0 utility going into that round. Yeah. They basically just had to rely on pure entry power, and they did get those nice 2 first kills, but the ops could have immediately shut them down. Thankfully for Misfits, both of the ops whiffed pretty hard on this round, so they ended up getting ahead as a result of that. Now the problem is they still have to break this massive bank that the Binary Dragons built up over the course of the 6 rounds that they won. So they're right back into the double op setup. They're back into having full utility. Misfits obviously are going to be on full utility themselves this time, but it's still an issue.
The problem is they can't feel too confident here, Misfits. If they get into a position where they feel almost cocky or confident because they won that round and trying to come straight back at it with some aggressive plays, that's when they're going to get caught, in my opinion. Binary Dragons, they're saying, okay, yeah, we whiffed a couple of shots there, but our team play still is on point. We should be able to bounce straight back. And that would reset not only Misfits' economy and their loss bonus, but also mentally. If you go 0-6, win a round, and then lose straight after, you feel so bad. It's very tilting to be in that position, and let's have a look if that's going to happen again. 55 seconds to go. Misfits leaving it down a bit as well. We might see the execution around 35-40. Let's see how far they want to take it. The Misfits guys. Smoke's coming in now.
Yeah, they're not They're definitely not going to bring that timer down as low as some of the other squads here. They do want to execute and leave themselves a nice little cushion of time to be able to still get good site control, even if they have to skirmish for control over the actual site itself. Neno is going to be sitting back, and okay, again, the whiff to open it up. Seems like he has a free open shot, but not going to connect on it, so Misfits are able to walk right in, getting that free control, and they're going to be able to push forward pretty aggressively too, although this might be a bit of a risk. Oh, Sean trying to hold back up here, but he's losing teammates quickly. Both Shazam and Sick have already been eliminated, and now Sean's going to try to make the impact himself. Catches one with a nade in hand. The flash still goes out, but it barely impacts him. Now looking forward, he's got to be careful dancing around that smoke. Gets dinked, and then Hunter will finish off the job, but DreamHack comes back in to take the place of his now fallen teammate, leaving only Neno alive in this fight. Trying to clutch at a 1v2, spots the first player, knocks it out, and DreamHack's already low. He's got to find out where he's at, though, as he does try to go straight for the defuse without checking behind him. And with that, DreamHack's going to close out on his second frag of the round, and finally give Misfits a second round as well.
And that felt like a real round for the Misfits there. They must feel a little bit of more confidence, especially Sean Garris getting these frags right here. One of the things I'd like to do next time they do the inner take is the smoke they put down here. The timing was a bit off, so for the first 5 seconds or something, Nino had a full, like, clear shot towards the rotation and towards the side. If they had that smoke down or maybe a little bit more to the right, then he would have been out of the picture. Luckily for them, he missed his shot, and it didn't become to be a problem anyways.
Hunter is going to try to get aggressive now. You can see him pushing up into the box walls, looking for an early kill, but he calls that off pretty quickly, actually. And again, the Ops just barely missing an opportunity for a nice opening kill that was gifted to them, it seems. But Joxic, obviously that shot's a little bit more harder than some of the other ones we've seen missed, but still. It's one chance gone away. That keeps it even into a 5v5. One player that's it's kind of interesting on this map, if you look at them historically over on the Misfits side of things, is Sick. You might want to keep your eyes on him for this map. It's a very polarizing map for him. If you watch any of those, a lot of these like smaller online qualifiers and whatnot, where the team chat's enabled, and you can listen in on the players, this is the map where Sick actually finds himself getting very frustrated very quickly. So if he starts off with a very bad performance, he's probably going to stay that way for the rest of the map. But if he can get himself going very well, then it has a snowball effect for him on this map, and he can actually propel himself forward pretty well. But the problem is, like I said, this has been a pretty poor start, so we have to hope that he's not already in that kind of frustrated mood, and he can now bring himself back and have that good performance that we've seen from him in the past. Moving into the team fight, though, Letney, this time he's only able to get 1 kill, and it is Sick himself that trades out the frag afterwards. Shazam picking up another one inside of the T-Con, knocking out Joxic, and bringing this down to a 4v3. Sick's got to be a little bit cautious, though. He did get dinked by the player inside the lighter room, being Letney, bringing him down to 7 HP, and Emmy nicely played on these angles here, getting one, but Sick again moving back in. A nice second shot from him to eliminate Emmy. And now only 2 remain from the CT side.
Smoke's coming down towards the bomb side, misses that spray by inches. And Hunter goes down, Nino now 1v2. After getting that first one, switches up to the AK, but taken out by Shazam. Nice double kill coming in from Shazam there. Very unlucky with the spray through the smoke. That could have changed pretty much everything, that bomb going down into that position. But Misfits are going to get 3 rounds on the board. 3-6, and as you say, very important that Sick gets rolling. He did not get rolling in that last map on Mirage, definitely not.
I mean, it was a good thing that we brought that up, because he shows up in that round specifically right there with those 2 great entry kills that is really able to push his team forward, and also has a very close call when he's planting the bomb as well that a teammate moves in and saves him on. So a good call here from the Binary Dragons to take a pause now. Yes. That was the problem in the last map, is they took the pause way too late. Like once it was past really a point of relevance where the pause would have had any major effect. Now, taking it here, they still have a lead going, they still have a 3-round advantage. Yes, their economy's been diminished down to a point where they are probably part of this pause is discussing whether they want to buy here or not. Yeah. Because some players are still up around like 6K to where they can easily go for a full buy here, but others are down low. Neno specifically is at 2,500, so we really can't force into this one without some teammates assisting them. So they are trying to make that decision and also figure out now how to counter out this newly formed aggression that's finally starting to come to fruition for the Misfits roster. Yeah,
at this point, if it was the in-game leader of Binary Dragons or coach, I would just call to drop some pistols and then do a pistol, maybe a couple of smokes, and play aggressive angles, see if you can get some opening kills and deny 2 or 3 weapons, and then buy in the next round. Because with 2 players buying fully and you're at a position now where Misfits are starting to grind back rounds, you need a full buy to step back into the game. You don't want to give them the opportunity of beating you at a half buy and resetting your economy. So I think that's going to be what they're doing as well. 10 seconds to go as we jump into the game. But I really like, as you say, like Binary Dragons taking this pause. You can see the players discussing it heavily, making sure that everything is 100%. Not for this round potentially, but especially for the next round. As you said, they want to counter what Misfits are doing right now, this aggression. They want to make sure that they're going to shut them down on every single point of the map.
Which is just getting wrecked by that flashbang. He tried to take an early shot. He had a good momentum to his push back out there. Just a poor follow-up, unfortunately, because he did get kind of destroyed by that flashbang. However, one of the CTs, you can see where this first kill happened. Joxic way out through Ivy.
Try to do
the server.
Yeah, try to do the aggressive play, but usually you want to play in duos, you want to play 2-on-2 when you do something like that. He also had a teammate who was pretty close to him, so probably should have peeked the 2 guys at the same time, or at least getting ready for the revenge frag in that situation. If you die off first, your teammate can step in and get that revenge frags. That's what they're doing right now in different positions. Now spreading out a bit, making sure that team main is covered at close range, Hunter there, and I think it's Intel once again in the ladder room or in the pop dog, just making sure if they want to go down there, he's going to shut down at least one of them as they jump down. But push seems to be towards the inner bomb site. Only one CT there, rotates slowly happening.
Binary Dragons had great positions to counter on an interplay if that did happen. You could see they had one player down inside of the ladder room and another inside the T-Com, but unfortunately that's become irrelevant now. And now they have to scramble to rotate their players as a result of having those forward positions, and it's just not working out. 3 quick kills for the Misfits, in addition to the one that they got at the beginning of the round. Leaves only Hunter alive here, trying to fall back into CT spawn to maybe set up a kind of arena for himself to at the very least pick up a couple kills, but ultimately the round itself is already gone. This is going to be one for the Misfits as they're going to go up 4-6. Finally starting to close the gap a little bit more, but there's that kill Hunter wanted. And he's got an AK to play with here too, but it's all a matter of surviving as he's been completely surrounded and he's not going to be able to last very long. Omnak gets that trade kill, takes him down, and claims the round for the Misfits.
Getting a bit of confidence in on the Misfits camp, winning a couple of the duels there without much trouble. Now Bai is going to be coming in from the Binary Dragons, and this is where it could go very well for Misfits, in my opinion, if they win the duels here, make a nice execute and make sure they shut down Binary Dragons again. Their money is not good at this point. They have pretty much broken their bank, as you mentioned a couple of rounds ago. And if they can get it going now, Misfits, I think they have a great chance of getting, let's say, 7 rounds on this T side, which would be more than enough, as they usually do quite well on both sides of this map. Of course, still a bit T-sided for them, but if they get 7 rounds now, I feel like, as we saw them play CT on Mirage, I feel like they can emulate that same CT side again and do a lot on CT here.
Yeah, so far this map is going in a very similar fashion to how we saw Mirage play out, just kind of in a reverse order, where it was, in the first map, obviously it was Misfits that took initial control and Binary Dragons that swung back at the end of the first half. Now it's Binary Dragons taking that control and Misfits kind of coming in later in the half with a bit of a comeback of their own. Still a great opportunity for Binary Dragons to stop that here now, though, on this next gun round. And Misfits seem to be spreading out their player base again here, which is actually where they struggled more towards the beginning of the half. So this is a great opportunity for Binary Dragons to kind of go back into that dominant stance that they had in those first 6 rounds, where they seemed like they just couldn't be stopped.
Let's have a look at this. Letney with a very aggressive stance, making sure that he shuts down that entire team main, but no terrorists are really there at the moment trying to contest it. Doing the pretty standard split, 1 towards Ivy, 2 getting ready for the smokes, and 2 towards that pop dog position, getting ready to smoke out as well. So this all tells me that an A execute is about to happen for Misfits. They have a lot of utility, a bunch of smokes as well, so definitely a big opportunity for them.
They had the shot from Joxic. He, in return, will force out his smoke, but the T's are smart, and they have a Molotov to counter out that smoke, so they can still easily push past it. Letney is going to be able to grab the first kill. Joxic's in a rough spot that you can see, but oh, a great spin-around flick from him. He goes down to the second player as DevoDivek pushes in, but ultimately, Misfits do struggle to make any additional impact besides that, so it is left down to him, and he goes down to Hunter. Finally claiming another round for the Binary Dragons after Misfits win 4 straight.
Good comeback coming back into that, saying, okay, we know what they're going to do. We have the counter. We're going to play the positions. It was a bit too closely played in my position, in my opinion, towards that Ivy area where he could have easily been shut down. I think it was Joxic in that position. He could have easily been shut down by a pulp flash or some aggressive play coming in from Ivy, and he tried to play 2 angles at the same time with the AWP. It's always dangerous. But he made it work nonetheless, so I can't really critique him too much. Shazam
got the good spawn, so he was able to push up the E-box. He really wants this kill, but it's actually going to be Sick that gets it. And look at how aggressive Sick got. Went way up towards the ladder room, down the ladder itself, and then out into the open, where he was actually able to steal the kill that I think Shazam was looking for, and that was Emmy further back towards the bomb train itself. Now Letney's going to be looking for a trade. The timing almost gets him, but on that aggressive re-peek from Sick, now Letney's going to be able to catch the trade, bringing things back down into a 4v4. Shazam looking for some shots. Going to be careful with those jumps. That could have been very, very dangerous if the Oppa was paying attention back over there at the very back train itself. But now he spotted it. He's able to call that out to his teammates, and they have that intel at the very least, so the risk paid off. Now they need to move in, taking control, and go for this plant. They've gone for the bit of a riskier play here as Letney claims another kill for the CT side and allowing the smokes to cover it all. Problem is look, now the smokes faded away at very imperfect timing. It's left a lot of players from Misfits out in the open, basically fending for themselves here. And now only leaving Shazam and Omnic to try and turn this round back on its heels. Shazam getting a nice first kill, but whiffs on the second one. So Hunter's able to trade that, and now he's just Omnic alive. Probably not even going to be able to stop this defuse. He does get a nice first kill. Actually, hold on, but no, he does go down. So Letney's going to be able to complete this defuse and claim the 8th round for the Binary Dragons.
Winning the half here, Binary Dragons on Misfits map pick. Could we be in a position where these two teams actually trade picks? Be a very nice comeback for Binary Dragons to come back after a close Mirage and then come into the map choice of Misfits and it just play that CT side perfectly. Double up setup once again. Misfits forced into a situation where they have to buy pistols and nothing else, saving up for that round afterwards. Round number 13 coming in here. Intel or Letney playing a very, very nice game so far. 16 frag has absolutely been shutting down that pop dog area. Every single time they go down there, just getting killed, absolutely wrecked.
Especially on those eco rounds, just getting massive multi-frags. In fact, it's looking like now that Misfits are completely avoiding it to try and avoid Letney. Hunter's here, though, however, at the edge of Ivy, and he's going to be able to frag out too, along with Joxic. Devo, however, is able to take on Hunter before he gets a single kill, and Letney able to, nicely done, find Omnic through that smoke, knocking him out of the round, bringing this down to a 2v4. Misfits were able to make it past the main defense setup here now, however, but it's looking like Neno. Oh, he almost got the double there, too. That would have been a nice way to end the round, but he finds them both. He's locked out one, and it's only Devo left alive, and oh, nicely played. Neno is going to be able to jump back in there, shutting down Devo and completing the round, putting the Binary Dragons up to 9 now.
At this point, I would actually like for Misfits to take a timeout, because there's only 2 rounds remaining in this half here, and they need both of them. If, let's say, Binary Dragons gets an 11-4 CT half, that would be back-breaking pretty much to the Misfits. So right now they have a bye, but I'm not feeling like their executions toward either bomb side has been on point so far, and I would like them to take maybe a little bit of a breather to make sure that they know exactly what they're doing. Shazam, they're being outpicked by Joxic. Of course, with the boost coming in, it's very hard to check both of those angles at the same time coming in towards team main, but he gets shut down. Amanek goes down, 30 HP from the Molotov there, and now double up setup still on that CT side. Very hard to deal with, especially here on train.
Counter smoke comes in from the T's, but it really doesn't work out as well as the CT zone smoke, as this player sitting back over here at the edge of Ivy is able to just push forward. That's Hunter again playing in that position now instead of Joxic, who's actually playing a little bit more aggressively now, pushing up into the sandwich position and waiting for a push to come back out. Omnic connected that smoke. Actually, Omnic might be able to see through that slightly, so he could still push out. I can't tell for sure. But he may have a slight, if he goes to his left a little bit more, he might have an angle on the right. Be able to peer through here. No, it actually looks like it's flush. So he can't see much out of there. Now Joxic spotting the first player moving through. Doesn't react to it though. He'll just wait this one out. He's going to toss the molly down on the ground. Tries to go for the quick shot. He's going to miss it, but thankfully it doesn't take a lot of damage in return. Only loses about 1/3 of his HP, going down to 67. And now Omnic's able to swing out into the open here. He gets that first kill, using a lot of ammo in the process though, so he's got to go for the reload. But he's found the entry. But the problem is that flashbang just completely destroyed him. He goes down, as does Devo. And now Joxic's found another kill against Sean too, leaving only Stick alive in this fight. He's going to try to change it, but I believe Joxic just spotted him here. Six trying his best to win this one out, but he only has 20 seconds to either plant the bomb or somehow win a 1v4.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen, let's be real. Have him pretty much shut down, even using Molotovs to come in. And now they're going to check if his position, and I don't like this because they're pretty much throwing at least 2 weapons away. You know he's going to take those aim battles there and win them, but they pick 3 guys almost at the same time and make sure that they can deny that weapon. If we have a look at the bank, if they maybe has saved those 3 weapons, the bank would look a bit better. A couple of the players going down to $600 and to $2,100 respectively. Could have probably had a lot more, but still, it's not too terrible. They have all the setup they need, and it is the last round of the half. So
yeah,
technically, money doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, throwing those players away in hindsight didn't really matter too much because they were away. But I mean, if like 1 or 2 more went down, it actually probably would have reduced their buy a little bit going into this run. And Nendo getting a little bit unlucky at the start, tagging a player through a wall, so it doesn't get the full kill. Emmy is able to complete the frag though, taking out. It was Sick that went down, and then Omnic also getting tagged here too. Shazam, he's got some good angles to try and pick up a few players, but he's got to be careful with it as he is on the scout, not the op. He's going to be looking for headshots here if he wants the instant kill. Emmy also sneaking back in. He's going to have a nice free kill right up on the bomb frame, looking for the second one. Not going to be able to get that one, and Shazam from up on top also claimed another kill, so it brings it down into an even situation. A 3v3 here now. There is no Molotov, so the players from Misfits do have to actively fight for control of the platform downstairs here. And with Letney getting that kill, oh no, that is a little bit of a rough patch here. Sean swings out, but Hunter is able to trade that, so they're going to be able to sneak in this last defuse and push it up to 11-4. Dominant control for the Binary Dragons coming off of their CT side, but now they need to keep that control going on the T side on what is otherwise a very CT-sided map.
Let's have a look how this breaks down after halftime, as we have the pistols coming in around 40 seconds. But definitely, as you said, like, Misfits, in my opinion, whiffed a bit in this half. They should probably have taken a pause in the middle of it, or maybe towards the end. But yeah, it's always hard to say. It didn't work out for them for sure.
I think the issue and the reason why we never really saw Misfits pause is I think they were ready to take one after because it was 6 rounds straight at the start for Binary Dragons, and I think if they lost that 7th, they probably would have gone for a pause. That's actually a policy that a lot of NA teams stand on, where if you lose 7 rounds straight, regardless of the outcome of those rounds, even if it's like really close rounds, take a pause just because you need to let the players reset. So they won that, and then they won on a pretty good streak, 4 rounds. But then the problem is that got reversed again, and the Binary Dragons won, how many was it? I think it was 5 rounds at the end. So it was that situation where Misfits probably thought they could keep the fight going and, you know, maybe get lucky and win in a few more rounds, and they just never had it. So that may explain why they never actually went for the pause when it seemed like they absolutely should have tried to go for one at least once in that half.
Yeah, that's all good reasoning and very logical. But I feel like if you have those pauses and you have them at your, like, you can use them. They're available. You should use them, even not to just discuss tactics, but just to take a breather. If you get behind with maybe losing 1 or 2 rounds, you see a bunch of the top teams doing that. Even if they just lose 2 rounds, just take that pause. You're probably not going to need it later anyways, just to get that breather and make sure you're 100% ready for the next round. Sean Garris, we've seen him with the P2K. It's been very good so far, but gets shut down here.
Dinked, so his aim got all messed up there, wasn't really able to impact with it. Now Amanek and Stick able to pick up at least 1 frag at range here. Stick, unfortunately, is going to get pushed further back in his Z. Is that Molly? He's going to cause some trouble, and Amanek trying to hit shots in the cross too. Where is Shazam? This is the player to focus on. You can see that there. He was doing damage at range. You have to keep your eyes on him here, as he's going to be the player that definitely could look to impact, but actually, it's the French brothers that are doing it instead. Amanek and Deva Duvek both picking up kills, bringing things down to Emmy and Neno. Just Neno now as he's left alone here, and finally Shazam tags in with 1 kill at the end of it, as Misfits again control the CT side pistol. And I believe all 4 of the pistols have been won by the CT side so far.
Yeah, they've been doing very well. Last time around it was Shazam, but this time around it's more of a team effort. And I would say a couple of whiffs coming in from the Binary Dragons as well. But at this point, Misfits is going to take everything they can get, all the help that they can get, and now buying into a couple of FAMASas, probably UMP-45, maybe even a Scout. Let's see. No, they're not going to invest in a Scout here, but definitely a couple of SMGs coming in. Tech 9s for Binary Dragons, but luckily for Misfits, they all have head armor.
It looks like they're going to try to go for, oh, no, this is super fast outer here, at least for Letney. I was about to say, it looked like they were trying to go for more of just a default outer play, but Letney's trying to propel it forward a little bit quickly here, and oh, Letney almost lined himself a nice kill there as Amanek did end up getting flashed back out. Stick is paying attention for the drop play, trying to basically play the same position that Letney did in the last half, but it's a little bit unnecessary as the Misfits are tearing this entire hit apart anyway, although as I say that, Nino and Joxic both pick up kills, but Devo Duvek is going to be able to trade out on the Joxic, so it leaves only Nino alive. And he's pretty far away from the bomb. He could probably sneak off maybe 1 or 2 more kills, but ultimately the round itself is still going to go over into Misfits' control. Binary Dragons are probably okay with the results of that round. They got 3 to 5 kills, so they're making it expensive. And as a result of that, Misfits are already going to be nowhere near the economy buildup that Binary Dragons had starting off that first half.
Yeah, and Misfits once again going for a couple of MP9s that did that in the last round, and both of those MP9 players died. They're going to go for it again because now they know that, okay, Binary Dragons forced up in that round. They have nothing but Glocks right now, so we should be able to farm a couple of frags, and that's kind of the idea behind the Sick going for it. Sean Garris going for aggressive play inside with the MP9 as well. He might be able to catch off a couple of players here.
Finds 1. They are split up a little bit, though, as that was just the head of the parade. So we're going to try to look for a little bit more. There's a second, and they're going to try to jump over him. Finally, they do overwhelm him, but at the same time, Amanek comes in along with Stick to save those last 2 kills. So that time a lot cleaner for the Misfits. They only lose Sean, which was kind of inevitable with that huge 5-man stack pushing in, that they were eventually going to be able to overwhelm him. But he does a nice job, picks up, I believe, 2 or 3 kills before finally getting knocked out. And now now is when things get interesting as we do get into the gun round, and there's still quite a few of those anti-eco weapons left over, but it's actually like, for the most part, Misfits are going to throw them away, at least on Sick. They get rid of the MP9 to go over towards the M4 here, but Sean and Almanac still think they can work with the UMP, which is obviously still a pretty valid weapon in a lot of these bigger gun rounds, so they're going to keep it with that. It's not worth throwing those away to upgrade, especially when you need to keep money in check since you're still behind by 4 rounds at this point.
And also, you can make sure that you have 100% utility with that UMP-45, and DreamHack pushing it with the FAMAS as well, changing it up for an AK, getting that first opening, and now. But that's what I said, like, you need to, if you want to push positions like T-Main, you want to do it 2 players at a time. Even if one of the players died, the second one could come in with the refrag, but you're just making sure that no matter what, you're going to get that kill and retain the map control. If you pick it 1 by 1 and take individual 1v1s or 1v2s as the CT side, that's just a very hard situation to come out of successfully. But they make it work here with the 2-man push, Misfits. Now, inside, execute, coming in for Binary Dragon, surely.
A lot of pressure going to be on both Sean and Almanac to defend this, as they are both the players with the UMP in hand. Rotations are actually relatively far away in the scope of where they usually are at this point in time. Neither of the CTs over towards the bomb train have moved in towards Z yet. They're both hanging out there. It does look like they're getting ready for it, though, as it's been called out by teammates. But look at this, Nino sneaking right into the site. Nobody paying attention to him, as Almanac was paying attention to Upper there, so he let him go right in, and Almanac's only going to be able to get 1 kill. Perfect entry. Sick, though, with the trade out through the smoke, is able to take down Emmy. We might be able to get a second one here in a second, too, and there you go. They do shut it down. They don't even let the Binary Dragons get a plant, which is even the better part. I was actually a little bit confused as to why the Dragons never just tried to go for a plant, since they had really good control at the start, but tad aggressive there. They did try to push out and extend their grasp on the inner bomb site and ended up biting back at them, as not only did they lose the round, but they were denied the plant.
Very nice stuff coming out of Misfits here. Resetting themselves after a hard first half coming in. And usually this is something that I said as well, like Misfits are actually quite good on T-side usually, but they play against North American opposition, maybe these European teams, and especially Tier 2, Tier 3 European teams, maybe play a bit differently on that CT side, and Binary Dragons are very strong CT, so perhaps Misfits had to recalibrate and make sure that like this is not the same opposition, and now they're on the CT side, now they can play a bit more, just rotate heavy and just play on your own strengths on that CT side, accepting whatever Binary Dragons throw at you, and it's working out so far. They're really playing good CT right now, which is something that I don't usually say about the Misfits. 4 rounds in a row will, of course, become 5 here now, as this is just a couple of pistols coming in from Binary Dragons, and good job of Misfits to kind of reset this great first half in Binary Dragons. As I say that, though, 2 frags coming in.
It seems
Commentator's curse.
This happened, I think, on the 3rd round, too, where it was at the end of the round. I was like, oh, yeah, the round's over. But then they all of a sudden just sneak in 2 kills out of nowhere. So similar outcome there, where Misfits overall still end up crushing the round, but at the very least, Binary Dragons keeping the money down a little bit lower to more of a palatable point by consistently getting those kills. And as you can see, well, you'll see it when we get in game a little bit more, but Misfits still floating around like 4 to 6K on their players. They have enough for 1 rebuy, but they'll be immediately broken after that, and that's exactly where Binary Dragons wants to keep these economies at currently.
Double upset on the CT side, something that Vendetta mentioned a lot on the desk that he loves to see them do, especially when Almanac comes in with that secondary AWP. Allows him to pick a couple of off angles. This one is one of them. Going for the aggressive peek upper B, but shut down by a Molotov. Very nice in Binary Dragons. No, okay, they might have the money. They might go for aggressive peeks with the AWP. We have to Molotov every single position we have that we can Molotov offs to make sure they don't get that initial map control and force us into a position where we'll have to use a lot of more utility, a lot of more manpower to get that position back. So, nice use of the Molotov. A lot of utility as well for Binary Dragons. Their economy is allowing them to buy into this.
Ladder room is a very focal point if we do end up seeing Binary Dragons just go for this default they're set up for right now, because both Sean and Sick have already been lit a little bit. So they've lost Sean right over half HP, and Sick has lost about a quarter. The problem is, though, is that Sean is the one actually defending against the drop players, where Sick is paying more attention towards T-Con. So if Sean goes down, Sick needs to immediately react and flick over to that. Otherwise, they both get knocked out. That's a lot of pressure they're putting on Sean now. And here we go, they drop back in. They do lose Sick, but Sean's able to hold on, and now gets the second kill there too. So they hold off the tide, but as a result of Sick going down, they are going to be able to let players move out, not only of T-Con, but also moving out of Ivy here too, which is how Emmy stuck off that kill on Shazam. They've kept it even, they kept it into a 3-on-3. Now the plant's moved in, but they don't have full control over the site. This is gonna be a very awkward post plant for both teams, but DreamHack, for whatever reason, doesn't account for Emmy still being backed over by Ivy. They lose that, and he follows it up with a second kill too. Now it's all on Sean, and he doesn't even get close. Emmy gets all 3 of those remaining kills. Nicely played from him as the Binary Dragons finally pick up a round here and push up to 12.
Yeah, all it took was a simple 4K from Emmy to get them started on this T side. But yeah, it's very important to get started on this T side. You can lack like a lot of that confidence you need, especially on the T side where you want to go for the picks yourself. That's a nice end to that one. But if you get that individual actions and you get that 4K coming in there, that maybe they'll get some more confidence being able to grab even further rounds on this T side here and just hold down these Misfits players. We have enough economy to buy in for this one, but if they lose this, it's going to be a force buy coming in for the Misfits. So Binary Dragons with a chance of bringing themselves from 13, maybe even 14, if the money allows them to just wreck Misfits in the next one. It's a very important round now. And this is also very interesting. Double up setup T side is something we don't see a lot, but Train actually is a map where you can do it even if you don't have like a sick double up team, kind of like SK Gaming has. Train T side is something that allows you to use that double up in many positions.
And they are also heading towards the inner bomb site here in a second too. So this is going to be a full outright push from the Binary Dragons directly towards inner. Misfits are going to have to look to quickly counter that back out. And this is going to be a quick explosion out into the site too. So again, a lot of pressure going over to Sean and Amanek. Amanek spraying in. I don't even know where he's spraying towards though. It's going to be on Sean again to pick up most of the kills here. Finds one, spins around, can't find the spray on the second one though. So Emmy again is the player to knock him out of the round here, leaving only 3 alive for the Misfits. Completely denied any access of all of this site right now. Finally, I think Sick is going to be able to loop back in over here at the entrance towards upper, but they can't see anything until these smokes start to fade away a little bit more. And even so, they have to take risks just to get intel here. This is going to be, again, a very rough retake for the Misfits here. They've already lost 1 player. Shazam gone down 2. Now it's Sick alone in a 1v4. He's already committed, though, so he's going to try to just go for this one anyway. He knows there's one a little bit further back behind him, but it don't matter much as Jockstick picks up the last kill from right behind the bomb train, and that's the Binary Dragons up to 13. 3 more to go, and they'll complete the trade on maps and send this over to a map number 3 on Cash.
Very nice execute there coming in from the Binary Dragons. As you said, like the smokes on almost every single train lane, making it very hard for Misfits to come in and do that retake, and very hard for them to capitalize on the all power that they have in that round. Binary Dragons on the other side got into the site, held some nice positions, just held back on the bomb side, and just made sure that they can capitalize on the advantages they had in this round. And as I said, forcing Misfits into a round where they only have a couple of pistols. Sick! Triple kill! Intel, though, answering back.
Ooh, big spray from Amanek. Unfortunately, doesn't result in a kill, and that's a lot of ammo wasted. He's now got 1 clip remaining here. Unfortunately, not going to get a chance to use it, as Jockstick does take him back down. Still disadvantaged, however. They've got a huge gun advantage. Oh, that's not good, though. Jockstick getting dinked down to 39 HP. Letney already down at 1, so you can see he's just hiding back right now, and in comes Sean. Easy kill for him, the grab. All on Jockstick, but he's going to go down. The massive play from Sick right outside of the ladder room saves Misfits and keeps them in this match now. And you can see him, look at that smug little grin right there.
The P250 is a disgusting weapon. Like, that should not be possible whatsoever, but Sick makes it work nonetheless. And I was about to be very afraid on behalf of Misfits there, because if Binary Dragons were allowed to be on 14 with good economy on T-side train, which they're pretty good at, as we've seen so far, the executes has been on point, it would be a very dangerous situation. But now Misfits kind of reset them, forced them into a round with only 2 Tech 9s and a couple of weapons. Misfits on their own buy. Shazam being taken out to 13 HP, though.
It's a bit of a slow start to the round again for the Misfits, as we've already seen throughout both of these halves. The Binary Dragons, again, probably going to end up going just directly for the inner strat, though. We've seen this before. They are kind of struggling a little bit. As you've noticed, their money is not necessarily in a super secure position, so they did end up having to go for a couple Tech 9 buys here. But quickly, flashbangs in. Sean completely blinded. Shazam comes in to bail him out, even with that low HP. Picks up the kill to save his teammate, and it works out well. But he does go down immediately after he finds that frag. Molly's good, though. It actually might force a player over here into the short lane next to the tanker, but doesn't end up happening. The player's smart. He just goes up on top of the ladder instead and completely avoids that situation. Same as before, completely smoking out the site. And oh, this position from Emmy is so good, too. He just found that up, but oh, Amanek spots him inside a Z, counters that out in what could have been a huge round-stopping play to completely shut down the Misfits. Now it's gone the other way, and it's all on Jockstick and Neto. Jockstick with a nice shot against Sean, keeps them in the match. Time is getting low, too, but Molly's on that lower ramp and is going to stop Neto from getting his way back into the site. Jockstick knows this is completely impossible to stop this defuse, so he's going to bail out, looking to save that up for the next round, and the Misfits will push up to 11.
Very nice that Misfits saved two smokes to that retake, knowing that it is a possibility that the Terrors are banking on the fact that they can use Molotovs from that upper position down towards that bomb. So they make sure that when they retake, they always have at least 1 Molotov, in this case 2, to get in with that defuse there. Binary Dragons once again in the position where around the op of Jockstick, they want to do something, so they're buying a couple of pistols, but Misfits on 11 rounds now could bring this one back. They are 1 up map score-wise, as you can see in the top right. So getting trained here would eliminate Binary Dragons.
And starting off very slow for the Binary Dragons too. A lot of pop flashes coming out from Misfits. They're looking to take aggressive control here. You can see smokes inside of areas like T-Con. Dominic did push in there. Was able to spot it out. It is clear. Not going to stick around though. Tech9's quickly wrapping around the corner. Can be kind of dangerous. And oh, Sean didn't even realize that this player snuck down ramp. Thankfully, he's still able to get the kill. Could have been a pretty disastrous situation there if he ended up losing that battle. He's the only other player on the site, Shazam, but he's pretty far back. Now with that advantage, Misfits looking nice, calm, and collected. Next test is probably going to be with a T-Con and Ivy, since we do have Joxic trying to push in with the op. Letney, however, takes down Almanac back at the T-Con entry point, and oh, they knock out Sick too. This has a nice potential to turn around. Emmy, just huge plays coming out from this man, even though he's only on a deagle right now. Shazam's been pushed back out of the site into the old bomb tunnel. Has a nice shot himself to bring it back down into a 2v2, but the bomb is rerouting towards the other site right now. And, well, they should have been able to see Emmy falling back, and with taking him down, now they should be able to read into the fact that this is definitely heading towards Internet. In fact, yeah, both those players are immediately rotating through Z. Actually, no, it's looking like Sean's sticking around for a few extra seconds here, while only Shazam rotates in. Hunter almost lost his life right there. He was just able to escape up on top. He can't stay here, though. That's the problem. He doesn't have a molly.
They don't have a kid either on the CT side, so this is actually a winnable round for Hunter here.
The problem for Hunter, though, is he doesn't have armor.
Yeah.
So in a battle versus an M4, he's going to lose that every single time, and that's exactly what happens here. They should be able to get this diffused pretty easily, and with that, Misfits are going to go up towards 12. Just one more round, and they'll tie it up again.
All right. Binary Dragons in a position where they can buy up here, get pretty much all that they want into the upcoming round, AKs and armor. Around 6K for most of the players. Misfits on the other side of things, also banking up a bit of an economy. Sean Gers 5-9 after buying. Very nice setup. But 13-12, this match is getting incredibly close. And it seems like Binary Dragons wanted to take a timeout here, but they couldn't.
I think we're, a lot of people are used to the four, oh, nice shot from Shazam. They're used to like the 4 timeout per match rule. I don't think we're running on those rules at this point. I think we're back on the 1 timeout per match rule.
Yeah, because I seen a couple of the coaches actually talking when the match still was live, so it might have been that. I'm actually not entirely sure about the rule set for this event, but as we see here, it's probably the case.
I know for sure that the timers are a lot longer. I think it's a 2-minute pause here, which is usually what the old rule usually corresponded to. So, just in case anyone was confused as to why that kept popping up there, it was Binary Dragons trying to take another pause, but they've already used theirs earlier, so they can't do it again. And losing a player at the start of this round certainly didn't help them out either.
Definitely not. Now they're in a position where this should have been a good buy for them. This should have been where they kind of bring it back for this map, but it's such a, like, all these small mental things just don't go into their way, but Hunter there bringing it back. Frag onto Amanek, 4v4 now. Smoke's coming in, they have control over Ivy.
Hunter rolling the dice with that flashbang, and it works out well for him. Trades the kill back down to a 4v4. They are spraying the heck out of that box, though, and that's going to bring Hunter's HP down to a pretty low point. We'll end up at 48 after that one. And now Devo, okay, nicely done. I didn't even know if he was expecting to find a player out there, but now lines 2 more of them up. He's only going to get 1 kill, but he brings Emmy down very low, and that's important to knock out Emmy. He's been a huge thorn in the side of Misfits so far in this half, and there you go. It's going to be Shazam along with Sick to take out the last 2 players alive, and Misfits, the American squad, they've tied it up at 13-13 here now with the potential to take the lead, as the Binary Dragons are again in a situation where they really don't have the money to fully buy here. They're going to end up probably on another half buy.
This is a heartbreaking situation for Binary Dragons, because I felt like with that buy they had coming in, they wanted to take a pause and make sure that everything got on point, but of course they couldn't, and then they were in a situation, oh, okay, we have to do something now. We have this buy, we need to win this round, and they slowly fell apart. It didn't like look as well executed as it usually does. Intel with a jumping Tech9 shot, but gets shot down by Sick there. Sick close range with the AK-47, runs out of bullets, and well, gets a couple of shots in, but not enough.
A little bit over-aggressive here. Devo going to be able to move in now, cutting off 1 player in the sandwich and probably going to move in on the flank. Shazam misses that shot, but Devo is able to move in. He was not able to stop the plant. You know, though, is a little bit... Oh, hold on now. The smoke's faded away, but... All right. Don't know if he realized the smoke faded away or not. So he's going to end up walking right out into the open, and it's an easy shot for Shazam to close out on the round, putting Misfits just 2 away now from winning out the map and finally taking the lead for the first time in this map.
And this is the all-or-nothing buy coming in pretty much here for Binary Dragons. Of course, they still have a little bit of money to spare, as you can see here, but bringing Misfits on 15 and having that economy that the CT side have and having the confidence that they would gain from getting on 15 is probably going to be game-breaking for them. Binary Dragons, they need this round desperately right now. They need the main players to come up huge. Intel here, T-Main, just making a lot of noise, not going for the pick there. Just making sure that the CTs are still aware of his position, that they fear it. And while that is happening, they're taking control towards that B bomb site. Just getting a player in, making sure that the CTs aren't getting too aggressive, and then lining up for the execute. They have a lot of utility for this execute here, so Binary Dragons. I'm looking perhaps one of these inner executes that they have done a couple of times now, but Stick immediately shuts down Hunter. It's not a good start. Molotov's up that position, so it becomes incredibly hard for Binary Dragons to get anything out of this.
Already losing 1 player. Joxic being brought down to 14 HP here, struggling to even really get an entry to find some sort of real estate that they can take control of. They've been denied of everything so far. Smoke going to get reapplied at Ivy, so unless Amy gets lucky with the spray through that smoke, he's probably not going to be able to find much here. 2 players still sit stalwart defending that one. For the rest of Binary Dragons, they are going to be able to move in and try to make this hit happen. Emmy picking up that 1 kill against Devo Duvek and a second one too. So now all of a sudden he's brought it back for the Dragons, and Sean is one of the only players in that B bomb able to hold it off. So a quick turnaround from the Binary Dragons has allowed them to hold great control over this round, and there's going to be another kill from them as Joxic claims a frag against Shazam. It's only Stick left alive, and he's pitted against a 1v4.
See here, Sick. Can he make it happen? Binary Dragons once again went for that B take, and it's working out for them. Emmy coming with the flank. Binary Dragons surely going to bring us on 14 here. The question is, can Six save this op into the next round? So far, it's looking likely.
Nobody at the moment evacuating through Z. That seems to be like it's going to stay that way. Should be good to stay inside of Z, even though it is a little bit close to the bomb. He should be able to survive the explosion pretty well. I don't think he'll take a whole lot of damage either. Yeah, he only takes about a 30 HP, and no one's even close to him. So he's definitely saving that op, and I don't know any reason why Misfits wouldn't have... Oh, they actually were a little bit low for Sick, but I think the rest of them are okay, so they are still going to be able to bind this round.
Just a little bit of an update. We've been told that we are actually playing with the old rule set. That means, of course, 1 timeout, 2 minutes, and coach is allowed to communicate with the team at all times. So, of course, different from the rule set that is running in a couple of other tournaments, which is hence why the Binary Dragons thought they could take that timeout. The coach allowed to talk to them at all times as well. So they should probably take more advantage of this, get that analytical feedback, make sure that they're on point on this terrorist side here of things. And their executes has actually been looking quite fine, especially on that B bomb side. I like the way that they take the side with a lot of smokes throughout all the lanes, relying on Joxic to open up with the op, as he does once again. And once again, Letney coming in with a frag, Aminet to shut it down.
Almanac trading out 1 kill so far, but the guys from Misfits already losing a lot of their heavy hitters, and Almanac lucky to be alive there with that jump, trying to get himself behind E-Box. Double Molly coming outside, and again, Almanac dodging death. Devo from up on top of the trains themselves, picking up another kill, evening this out to a 3v3. Almanac is kind of out of this fight now at 11 HP. Devo takes the risk, and it works out. Double, potentially triple kill. No, he goes down, but Sean completes the flank, allowing for Misfits now to push up to 15. Only 1 more round to go, and they'll take control of this set, pushing them on to the decider match of this group.
Insane flash coming in for Almanac there. It's off screen, but he takes some damage rotating back from his position at Pop Dog, but then flashes in and completely destroys the players on Binary Dragons. 2 of them were fully flashed as Almanac was as Devo Duvek was taking that first duel. And that's so important to have a player that can rotate back and throw the perfect flash in that time, because at this point it's very crucial that everything is on point. It's all in the knife's edge. Round number 30 going in between these 2.
Almanac's got to be careful here. Hasn't even realized that a player goes right past them, so Letney's able to pick up that kill. Sick, thankfully, is there to support, so he picks up the trade frag. But Shazam, also whiffing on his own kills, puts all that pressure back on the Sick. He's going to lose out that battle, leaving only 3 left alive here for Misfits, and Shazam specifically now down at 1 HP. Devo makes the move, but he can only get 1 kill. It's now Sean out in the open. He's going to find 1 more, evening this into a 2v2. Joxic missing that flick, but he still has another opportunity to rebolt himself, but he goes goes down too. Only one remains. It's going to be Hunter stuck in the 1v2, trying to clutch this out for his team, trying to keep his team in this tournament and take this over to overtime. But now pushed out into the open, he's able to not get that frag. It was Sean coming out with a massive 3K. It's going to be the Misfits that take control 16-14 all the way to round 30. But they claim the second map, and with that, they're going to win this series 2-0.
What a way to end it. So incredibly close, and great showing by Binary Dragons there, but Misfits able to bring it in the end. They have to be a bit disappointed on the Binary Dragons side. They had a couple of rounds where they can probably turn it around, but very nice play. I like to highlight Amanek. That flash in a couple of rounds ago, that was just perfect. They play very well off each other. It took them some time to get into this kind of groove, but when Misfits are here, and like they're here now, they come to play, and they've now eliminated their first opponent, making their way further into this tournament.
Yeah, like we'd already said in the first map there, very much so an increased performance from Shazam of what we were seeing from yesterday on Mirage against Renegades. Actually, on the second map, Sean Garrett actually had a really good performance, especially in a lot of those last very crucial rounds for him. He was what saved the team in a lot of the situations, so he showed up when it needed, and that was talked about yesterday on the analyst test too, about how Sean Garrett could be this X-factor player that when he's needed could come in, save the team, and really push them over the edge to allow them to take some of these matchups, and that's exactly what happened here on Train. Yeah,
definitely. I also like to highlight Daviduvik. They talked about him on this today, that he played very well yesterday, had some highlight situations. His aim is absolutely on point. So has been today, especially with the support of his French teammate Amanek coming in with the flashes, coming in with the support. So just makes it work, and Misfits taking that 2-0, but very close.
Yeah, absolutely. So Misfits are going to have to be a little bit careful now moving on into the decider matchup. Obviously going up against Binary Dragons, which was posted up as one of the weaker teams coming into this tournament. Now they're going to have to go up against an even stronger opponent in another best of 3 here, and that's when things only get a little bit tougher. Is that match definitely probably a little bit closer than some people were expecting, so we have to hope that they can continue this improvement and now look even better going into their decider match if they want to make it out of the groups and the semifinals, of course.
Talking about the Misfits, I think Smix is ready on stage with one of the winners.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here with Sean Garrett. So first of all, congrats, Sean. You guys keep your tournament life safe, and it has to feel good to step up today, especially after a sort of lackluster performance yesterday.
Yeah, it felt good to get the win. Definitely some like weird moments throughout all of our matches so far where we just can't get any kills in like any round for like a string of 5 rounds, I feel like. So every match has been a grind so far, but at least we're still in it.
Well, let's focus on Train, and it's interesting because even in that last round, it almost turned into possibly an overtime scenario, which would have been funny because it would have been your 4th overtime on Train in a row. So just walk us through that match, and why did it turn so close again?
Yeah, I mean, like they had our number early in the T half. We missed a couple smokes, timings, early T side. They shut us down. We strung together like 4 rounds, and then we started playing a little bit loose, probably way too loose considering what our economy looked like, and things just crumbled. And then we had to really grind hard on CT side, make almost no mistakes, win a lot of clutches and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, now moving forward in the decider match, you're going to be playing against Hellraisers, who you last played at DreamHack Tours in the semifinals. Back then, you lost 2-0. Think you can get revenge this time?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to play them. I've been looking forward to playing them again. I love like their play style, and their map pool is really good, so it'll be an interesting series. I don't even know what maps we're going to end up on.
Well, congratulations again, Sean. With that, it'll be Misfits moving on to face Hellraisers in the decider match.
There we see Binary Dragons go out and Misfits go through to play Hellraisers. Did you think that was going to go through to a 3rd map, though, there at the end? Because it was looking like it could do.
I was getting scared.
Yeah.
I was getting really, really scared because, honestly, you know, Binary Dragons showed up for the 2nd map. It's very easy to get defeated once you're, you know, the newcomer into a tournament. You lose your own map pick, especially in a close fashion as well. You know, you get off to a good start, but then you slowly start to lose grip of the game, and you just get that, you know, that voice in your head telling you like, yeah, this is not meant to be. But they stuck in there. That was a really hard-fought game, and even like, you know, it comes down to the last round. There's definite opportunities for Binary Dragons to take that to OT, and if that one off shot from teammate lands on Sean, we're probably looking, you know, we probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
Still be waiting it out. So definitely a hard-fought game, and a lot of fun to see that, you know, everyone on the side of Binary Dragons actually had their moments, whether it was a map 1 or map 2.
Who would you say was a standout player for Binary, like them, those standout moments?
It was definitely Intel on their CT side. He had like 20+ frags on their CT side, and he was locking down the ladder room, which is like the meta nowadays since the grenade pin change. holding ladder room is definitely more viable now. And if you can hold ladder room as a CT, it just gives you so much more relief on the outside bomb site. And Intel really held down that pop dog.
Yeah, and for me, like going over to the T side, because obviously they struggled a lot more getting rounds on there, but you can see Emmy, every time they made a yard push, it seemed like he would constantly find 1 or 2 players on the Misfits side to just create chaos, and they're very committed in the way they were pushing. So to just constantly find success for him there, really good to see. I also thought like Jockstick, not necessarily in the same range in terms of frags as both Intel and Emmy over that course of the game, but like some of the op shots he got was just like very, very crucial and very, very impactful at the right time. So obviously like that's something that you have to account for, and that's something that you should be credited as well.
I think
we were too hot.
Eric, did you forget to pay the electricity bills?
Yes, definitely.
How did this?
You had one job.
I think actually this means
it feels nicer now. Actually,
this means we can go home now.
Yeah.
Right.
Take care.
Yeah, they turned the lights off on the like